All right, guys, so we're going to review these notes for solving multi-step inequalities. The good thing about us spending so much time with equations is that when we get to inequalities, you are still solving the same way. You still solve for your variable, you still distribute, combine like terms, etc., except you don't have an equal sign, so it's not an equation. You have one of the four inequality symbols. And there's one rule that goes with the inequality symbol that can influence your answer. Okay? And that rule is when you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number. So that's very important. And this is in the last step. If you multiply or divide the inequality by a negative number, you may remember this, flip the inequality symbol. So all that means is that it changed direction. Only if you multiply or divide in that last step, okay? And so we're going to go and we're going to take a look at what that actually looks like in real time. All right, so we have this inequality, 3 times x plus 1 minus 4x is greater than or equal to negative 5. Now, if you need to, you may draw your line through the inequality symbol. If you feel that you need that, we'll draw it. I want to draw it a little bit behind so I don't completely cover what the symbol is. Okay, I know what that is. So you can go and separate both sides of your inequality. You can do that. If you don't need it, then you don't have to. All right, so the first thing we're going to go and ask ourselves is, do I have something to distribute? Yes, I do. And so we do just like usual. I'm going to go and distribute. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is 3. And we bring down that minus 4x. And then the inequality symbol. And then negative 5 over here. After you distribute, you ask yourself, do I have any like terms to combine? Yes, you do. Here and here. So I'm going to go and combine those. All right, 3x minus 4x is negative 1x plus 3 greater than or equal to negative 5. Everything's still being solved the same way. Okay, so now I go and I just continue to solve like a two-step equation, how we've previously done, even though this is an inequality. I bring down my negative 1x. These canceled out. Still greater than or equal to negative 5 minus 3. More negative is negative 8. All right, so now I'm down at that last step, and there's a negative 1x. I don't want my variable to be negative, so I have to divide both sides by that negative 1. So when I do that, my variable comes down. Negative 8 divided by negative 1 is a positive 8. However, I divided by a negative. So that means my inequality symbol changes. Okay? So I'm just going to put this out to the side here. Okay? So that's where you go and flip it. All right, let's go move on. Let's go look at this next one over here. We have 10 minus 8x, which is greater than or equal to 2 times 6 minus 5x. So you see, okay, the left-hand side, I don't have anything to distribute, so I'm just going to go and rewrite it, bring down my symbol. But I do have something to distribute on the right-hand side. So I'm going to do 2 times 6 and 2 times negative 5x. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times negative 5x is negative 10x. Now that I distribute, do I have any like terms to combine? I do not. So now I'm going to go, and I see I have variables on both sides. So let me move my variables over, all to one side. In this case, I'm going to move the 10x over because I see an opportunity for a positive coefficient with the variable. So I'm going to do the opposite operation and add 10x on both sides. So I bring down 10. Hold on. I didn't give myself enough space. So I bring down 10, and then negative 8x plus 10x is a positive 2x, greater than or equal to, and the only thing left over here is 12. That canceled out. Now we're in two-step territory, so I'm just going to keep solving. I want to subtract 10 on both sides of the inequality. These cancel out. I bring down my 2x, my greater than or equal to. 12 minus 10 is 2. So I have 2 times x is greater than or equal to 2. I divide by 2 on both sides. I get x greater than or equal to 2 divided by 2 is 1. So if you notice, the symbol didn't change. But that's because in my last step, I only divided by a positive number. Okay? So I didn't have a negative, so I didn't have to flip the symbol. So I divided by a positive 2, and then I didn't have to go and flip the symbol. All right, let's look at our next example. 15 is less than or equal to 5 minus 2 times 4x plus 7. Okay, so I'm going to bring down the 15, and I see an opportunity to distribute, so I'm going to do that. That's negative 2 times 4x and negative 2 times positive 7. Negative 2 times 4x is negative 8x. Negative 2 times positive 7 is negative 14. All right, do we have any like terms that we can combine? We sure do. We have 5 and negative 14. So let's go and get this written. So 15 less than or equal to, I'm going to put negative 8x over here, so the variable's there in front on that side. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. 5 minus 14 is negative 9. Then I'm going to go and add 9 to both sides of my inequality symbol. 15 plus 9 is 24, greater than or equal to negative 8x, because these canceled out. All right, so I have negative 8 times x. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to go and divide by negative 8. 24 divided by negative 8 is negative 3. Negative 8, those cancel out, and I'm left with x over here. But remember, I just divided by a negative, so I have to flip the symbol. So it has to be this. So negative 3 is greater than or equal to x. Now, you also need to know that sometimes so this may be how you solved it, okay? But your answer choices may have the variable on the left-hand side. So you need to be able to rewrite it correctly. So x less than or equal to negative 3. These mean the same thing, okay? So these are the same meaning, okay? And you need to be aware of this depending on what your answer choices said. So it's easy just to go and keep the symbol. Whatever the symbol is saying is the larger number, that's the easy way just to go and just put your symbol that way in case you have to go and rewrite it. But I'm going to go and jot this down again. Okay. Divided by negative. Flip symbol. And that happened right here because you divided by negative 8. All right. So now we look at this last one. 8 plus 6x is greater than 5x plus 2 minus x. So I'm going to draw my line. And now I'm going to look for opportunities. Do I have anything to distribute? No. Do I have like terms? I do see some. I have 5x and negative x over here. Remember, that can also be written as negative 1x if you need it. So I need to go and combine those like terms. So I'm going to keep it as 8 plus 6x greater than 5x minus x is 4x plus 2. Okay. And now that I combined, I have variables on both sides, so I need to go and move those over. So I'm going to subtract 4x so I can get variables all on one side. Bring down 8. 6x minus 4x is positive 2x is greater than, that cancels out, and then you have 2. All right, so now I need to get my variable by itself, so this 8 has to go. That cancels out. I have 2x greater than 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Divide by 2 as my last step, and x is greater than negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. All right, and that is solving inequalities, okay? The only thing that changed is that when in your last step, when you multiply or divide by a negative, the symbol flips. The way you solve the inequalities is the same as the way you solve equations, except for that last little bit.